What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be uploading a few parts from Metro 2033 Redux. Here, let me shut up.
But it was our home. There was comfort in its routines, in seeing the same people day after day.
Artyom, you're awake at last, I see. Hunter's on his way in. He should have news from the other stations. Come on.
So this game kind of starts out a little slow. My experience with Metro has been incredibly limited. At one point, I owned an Xbox One, and I believe Metro Last Light was free on there for some weekend or something like that, and I managed to play through that. So I'm not wholly familiar with the series, apart from just random little tidbits here and there, and videos on YouTube. So this is coming to you from the power of PlayStation Now. There's some games on there that I'm interested in playing, but not quite willing to spend the money for. Games like Metro, for example. It's just not something that I'm super into. I really enjoy like the post-apocalyptic nature of it. The kind of tunnel rat deal you get from the Metro tunnels. I really enjoy the claustrophobic aspect of it, but being relatively linear, relatively on rails, it's just the experience is kind of one-sided. This would be something that's perfectly suited for a system or a thing such as PlayStation Now, which is more or less, yeah, I got a note there. Apparently those, are added to your diary, so, somehow Artyom's already gone through, like, the entire game and, like, left parts of his journal laying around somehow. Or maybe this is just him picking up a new tablet of paper and just go ahead and write on it, I don't know. But yeah, this game starts out kind of slow, there's just sort of like an exposition dump, like right at the beginning here. It's implied that Artyom is already relatively trained and understands what's going on. But what I will say is that the weapon systems in this game are fantastic. The reload animations are really slow, at least for everything but like the Kalashnikov. But everything seems deliberate. It's not like Artyom is being slow when he reloads these guns. It's just that the weird little quirks of the firearms themselves, are fantastic, and I think that this is a really good introduction for a guy that you meet, like once. So there's the Rangers and the tunnels, and then somehow Nazis are roped up into this whole narrative, and I think the whole thing is just really interesting. Coming from games like Fallout and Rage and things like that, sort of like post world ending games. These are actually really cool. I think honestly one of my favorite things about post-apocalyptia, in terms of that, is just seeing like how people believe the fall of society, where that would come about, and how exactly things would adapt from there. Because if anything, humans are adaptable, and we'd be more, I believe, unless you were just, nuclear atomic annihilation has just simply, wiped us off the face of the planet. I do believe that there would be some sort of cells, sort of like these Metro tunnels, where humans and people, continue on. Yeah, so they told me to get a weapon, but I was having kind of some issues, like, figuring out, like, where the hell that is. And honestly, that right there, I think that's one of the best revolver reload animations, like, in any game. Like, it's super deliberate, it looks good, it sounds good, I love it. I also like the slight delay when you pull the trigger on the revolver, where it's just like maybe an eighth of a second of a delay from where you pull the trigger, the hammer goes back, and then the round comes out and hits the enemy. So here's me just trying to learn the controls. I'm not very good at first-person shooters. It's actually been quite some time since I've played one, but and I'm missing a whole lot. I'm only playing on normal, the Spartan difficulty, and more or less just to get some trophies and, you know, just kind of enjoy the story the way it is. But you know, the Nosalises, or however you pronounce these, yeah, this is when I, you know, come to the realization that, oh, wait a minute, if I shoot them in the head, they die in one shot, instead of just wasting all my bullets. So now I'm, you know, trying out the melee weapon, and I'm trying to learn the controls. I think I pull up the inventory overlay about 10 times. But it's really interesting. But yeah, that reload is just so nice. So this is going to be a playthrough series. There's probably going to be some parts chopped out just where I forgot to hit record. But I do believe that, you know, this is something that some people could glean some sort of enjoyment from, and I will attempt, you know, as best as I can to provide that. So this is me playing with the shadows. Like, you know, if you notice, our team's feet look incredibly small, and then at this time I also noticed that the revolver is about 6 inches away from my character model, just kind of hanging in the air. So I don't think that you were really intended to see that. I think you were just supposed to kind of catch the shadows as they came. But that's the first part of, you know, what will hopefully be an entire playthrough. So thanks for watching.